Morning, everybody. Welcome to Hacking Self-Storage. Okay, this is by far and away my favorite part of the week. I just love it. I love going through the data. I love going through the figures. I love analyzing it. And then I love recording it to you guys. There's many reasons why I love recording it to you guys. But one of the reasons for me is it keeps me accountable because I have to. And I'm sure I would go through these figures anyway because that's part of my job that I absolutely love. But I kind of have to go through these figures and talk to you guys about them. And then it's even when I'm going through them, obviously I've looked at them previously, I've gone through the data. Last night I went through them. But then when I'm talking to you, I see them in a different light. I see them from a different angle. And all of a sudden I'll have an aha moment. I'm sure you recognize that when all of a sudden I'm talking, I'm going, oh, there's this different. Oh, and so it is fantastic. Anyway, so I've had tons and tons of feedback, amazing feedback, by the way, guys. And I am shit at getting back to people. I know I am. I'm trying to improve it. I'm trying to get better. And I've had, especially in this last 2 weeks, I've had so many offers of work, coaching calls, people chucking money at me. It's been fantastic. And so far, I've always said no to anything out there, but there's little bits and pieces now that are tweaking my interest. And it's fascinating. I'm doing a little bit of work for somebody on a container site this week as well. I've been invited down to Bradford, and I'm like, it's terrific. This container site that's a great potential. So I'm doing a bit of work on that, and it's just I love it. I love it, and so I will, and I just enjoy it. So I will get back to everybody who's emailed me last week and or the week before, because I do know there's people been emailing me while I was on holiday as well. I've got them in a little file that I need to go back through and get in touch with everyone. So I just want to say thank you so much for all the love, the support, and I genuinely can't believe that people listen to me rabbit on about podcasting about self-storage, because as you know, I stutter. I don't get my point across very well. I go around the houses to get just, when one sentence or somewhat perfectly, it's a whole paragraph or two to explain one sentence. So again, just what I've done there. So yeah, I appreciate you sticking with me. Okay, so this week, I'm so excited because at the minute, we are testing A versus, well, no, it's not A versus B, because although someone has contacted me about A versus B split testing, but we can do it. So that'll be interesting as well. I will get back to you again, I promise. But we're trialing showing prices on the website. And I know to other industries, when I talk to other business owners, like, well, of course you show your price on your website. Why would you not? But people don't understand. Oh, Dave Davies is calling me. Look at that. All right, Dave, for fucking no-brainer, mate. Fucking no-brainer. People don't understand this industry because it's okay from people are making opinions and judgments on this industry, and unfortunately it's not exactly like other industries. So for example, for people don't understand self-storage, when they get a price, if they believe, I was having this exact same conversation yesterday with a business owner, and I was explaining that, listen, when you get a price for something, a flight to somewhere, it's taking you from A to B, and there's first class, there's premium class or whatever, there's extra leg room seats if you're on Jet 2 or whatever, and so the differences. We understand that, we're educated in that, and so you can put the price online, and there's no person needs to explain it. However, self-storage is completely different, because some of our competition, it's containers where they themselves say, look, if you don't want it to get wet, don't store it in here. If it's not waterproof, don't store it in here, and that's brilliant by them actually advising you, listen, we're not watertight. We can't guarantee that, it's not going to leak inside the unit. So maybe just have scaffolding in there, workman's materials and stuff like that. But it doesn't matter if it gets wet. However, when you do a price online, you're not comparing the two. There's our self-storage, I consider 5-star, and there's other self-storages that are 1-star and 2-star. That's not to say that the 1-star and 2-star don't have a place. Of course they do, because there's things like scaffolding, whatever it might be, building materials and bricks and I don't know, whatever they can get wet. It doesn't matter where you store it. It's the cheapest is the winner. And so it's nice that when people come onto the website, hopefully the website does its job, but what people are like. They just want a price instantaneously, and they don't want to mess around and read through all the content on your website. They don't care about that. So that's where I always believed that we need a person to actually ring them up and educate them why we are different. Have you used self-storage before? Brilliant. Can I tell you why we're different to the other self-storage you've potentially used? Have you used self-storage before? No. Okay, great. Can I just take a moment to tell you about our self-storage and why we are different and what makes us, the best in class, if you like. And so I've always believed that we need that. We need that line of sales, if you like, to make sure we educate the customers. And so what we've been doing recently is testing that hypothesis. See what I mean? I don't know why you listen. I really don't know why you listen. So we've been testing that. And so far, first week was rubbish, absolutely bloody rubbish. I think it was a conversion rate on the website from visitors to actual reservations. It was like 3%. But for them 3% as well, it was people who had previously done a call and went through our sales process, just ringing back and booking. So it was terrible. Last week was really good. It was 6.2%, the conversion rate. Incredible, brilliant. We had 20 reservations. And now this week, it is a 5.9 conversion rate. So not as good as last week, but by hell, it's close. Not as many reservations because we didn't have as many website visitors, but it's still good. And so I can't lie. This has fried my brain a little bit because I was stuck in the understanding that this doesn't work and we have to make sure that we display our prices behind an information wall, i.e. we get your name, we get your email address, and we get your telephone number. Then you can have our prices after we explain to you. But we've now just been putting prices on. That's it. We put prices on. You want price? Bang, you've got a price. And so if you want more information, you can contact us. And so we're leaving it up to the customer. And so far, I don't want to second guess this too much because it is a very, very small sample size. And we're only into the third week. This will be the fourth week of testing of the trial. So I don't want to make any conclusive decisions as yet, but so far, so good, I believe. And don't get me wrong, there's much more. There's we can analyze it even further, like the insurance levels. Have the insurance levels gone down? This week says no, but previous week says yes, because there's not somebody there helping you upsell the insurance. Has people been taking the correct size? Have they been taking too small a size, and we can upsell them to take a bigger size? Don't know yet. We need to analyze that. So it's not just one thing, the reservations, the conversion. It's not just that. There's other things to factor in as well, which is why I love it, because I can get my head in these figures and just have a look at it. Right. So amount of quotes this week, 8. Last week we got 14. But don't forget 8 quotes. They've already got the information they need. And so just because they got 8 quotes, it doesn't mean that we haven't had obviously more website visitors, etc. And so we've got 8 quotes. That means they've got in contact with us afterwards. And so that's 1.14 quotes per day. However, number of reservations, this is only at Willerby. I'm doing Clough Roads tomorrow. Number of reservations are 10. So there's 10 reservations at Willerby. Number of forward move-ins, that means when you do all the paperwork, etc., has been 4. New move-ins this week. So by the way, it's a conversion rate of over 100%. Now, in America, when you show your prices, you're looking around about an 80% conversion rate. That's what they want in America because they're showing the prices. And so if 10 people get in contact, the number one objection is the prices. They're over that hurdle already because they know the prices and they're contacting you. And so they're over the biggest objection. And that's why your conversion rates go massively high in America. And so you'd expect a high conversion rate. If we're getting 8 quotes per day, we'd expect, I don't know, at least 6 reservations from that. However, we got 10 reservations. That obviously is from people in previous weeks calling up to book as well. So it's really good data there, but it's only 1 week. And we would expect, again, with our staff as well, with our team, with the sales process we have and how we talk to the customers and the product we've got, we'd expect to be hitting over 80%. I certainly would anyway. So last week, we did it. We smashed it. Number of new move-ins was 9. Got a real bad back, by the way. Number of new move-ins was 9. So we had 9 move-ins last week for 950 square foot. We also had 4 other move-ins, people taking extra room. Now, when it's a manless facility, by the way, we don't have as many people taking extra rooms. So when you're looking at manless facilities, that is one of the downsides of manless facilities. People don't take extra rooms. I don't know if we don't make it clear and obvious that you can take extra rooms. If it's not big enough, you can move up. You can take it. I don't know if we do a good enough job on that for manless facilities. So certainly a way we can improve. That's why I love looking at this, by the way, because there's always ways we can improve. Don't matter if you're hitting massive numbers, you can always iterate and improve. You can always improve your product. You can always improve your offering. Right. So we had 1,125 square foot in total move-in. In November, 1,100 square foot move-in, 4 figures. Anywhere over 4 figures is exceptional for us anyway. I don't know what it's like for where you live, but it's exceptional. And so 1,125 square foot. So the quote, let's have a look. The conversion rates for quotes to move-ins was 112%, so 113%, and it was 125% on reservations. So boom, wow, 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 boom. I have no idea what that is. Again, I listen to other podcasts, sometimes, even in the self-storage industry, I think, God, you guys are so professional. You worked on it. And then me, wow, shut up. Right. I'm genuinely going red. I mean, I'm embarrassed by myself. Right. Number of times the van was rented out. The loo was rented out 6 times last week. So 6 out of 7 times. Just get a swig of tea. Now, where did the quotes come from? This is interesting because we've only got 7 quotes on here. Google 3, Passing By 3, Beverly 24, 1. I don't know where we've got 8 quotes, so we're missing 1. So I don't know why we're missing 1, but I will look into it and let you know. So square foot moved in was 1,125. Square foot moved out was 1,075. So it was up 50 square foot last week. Number of rooms in, 13 rooms in. Number of rooms out, 13. So we've got 357 internal rooms occupied. Containers in, 0. Containers out, 0. Total in containers right now is 50, 50. Bullseye. Car parking, 4 rented out at the minute, none in, none out. Store occupancy, 84.2%. We've added 2 new containers as well. And so I don't know the exact data. We will be doing a monthly figures. Actually, I've got the monthly figures somewhere. I'm already done. So we'll be doing the monthly figures on Wednesday. I believe that we can't be far off the highest occupancy in terms of square footage we've ever been. So in November as well, after COVID, that's incredible if that's true. It's not far off. I think it must be only a couple of 100 square foot. I can't wait to actually look into it. All right. So we'll let you know, obviously, on Wednesday. Weekly average sales per move in, £40.64. So really good. We want to hit £25 per move in there. So that's on merchandise, box sales, etc. Just one other thing, by the way. Somebody was actually having a conversation with another business owner over the weekend, and I can't remember who it was now. But they was talking about me expanding, and am I not worried? Am I not scared? And the answer to them questions is yes, I'm scared. Yes, I'm worried. And he said, why are you doing it then? And because I haven't actually disclosed the information of where it is, but I'm really, really excited by it. We've got the prices from Cuboid, and we've got the prices from Janet. Well, I ain't got the prices from Janice just yet, but we were waiting them. Went down to meet Cuboid at Kettering Self Storage. Thank you very much, by the way, Kettering Self Storage. You was absolutely phenomenal. It was amazing. You walked us around. You showed us the Sensorberg system. Really, really appreciate it. So shout out to Kettering Self Storage. You just opened the doors up to us. It was brilliant. So I appreciate it. And Moise, by the way, from Cuboid, such a nice guy. He was a bit stressed because he's going to Dubai and the next day, but he still found time to meet me there, and 2.5 hours away from his house. So I really, really, really appreciate them as well. Good job I'm not sponsored by Janice anymore, because I won't be allowed to even mention Cuboid's name. So yeah, and obviously I'll let you guys know who we go with a shop fit as well, because we're going through all that data at the minute and finding out. So yeah, anyway, we're opening up in this undisclosed location at the minute. Can't wait to tell you where it is. Really excited by it. It's a phenomenal site. It's a great location. It's going to be leasehold again, unfortunately, but it's a 20-year lease. Great place. Competition as well. There's definitely room for people to move into this area. So I know that we'll fill up relatively quickly. Anyway, the business owner was saying to me, why don't you stick with what you got? Because aren't you a little bit worried the economic climate? We don't really know what's going to happen. And I said, yeah, but it's just noise at the minute. It's just noise. The cost of living is going up, everything's going up. And I know I did a podcast about saying winter is coming, and that's had absolutely phenomenal, impact, or, people have got in contact and said how good, they've really enjoyed it, basically. However, what we've got to do is we've got to take away from the noise that you listen to on the news. I never listen to news. I just think if you listen to the news and it just depresses you, and it's all negativity. It's never, hey, look at this. This is an amazing thing that happened. This is the economy. It's going fantastic. It's none of that. It's always bad. And that's how they suck you in, because subconsciously we want to hear more about it. When during COVID, when they put up the deaths and all that lot, Jesus Christ, I was like, oh my God, look at this. Because we get addicted to negative news for some reason. We're just weird like that. We're weirdly wired. And so I don't listen to that. And so if you take away that, if that's not there, and you just look at the data, you look at how many, the search term, stories near me, look how strong that is at the minute. Look at how good we're doing compared to other quarters, the same time in previous quarters. Even last 2021, we're beating quarter four's figures. It's incredible. And so if you just look at the data, then that's what we should make our decisions on your data, what's happening with you. That's the best criteria that you can use. Don't get me wrong. Yes, use external, use news to have a over-rounding opinion, but don't just use that element. And that's why we are still expanding, because the figures that we are producing and showing are telling me that we're in a pretty good place at the minute with self-storage. And yes, I'm going to be aware, I'm going to be alert if anything changes. And my projections, my cash flows are all negative, if you like. If we don't hit these figures that we're projecting, then I don't know. We should do, because I'm projecting really, really low. I think I'm projecting like 400 square foot move in a month, and I know we'll absolutely smash it. I think we're projecting £16 per square foot, and I know obviously we'll smash that. And so I've kept my projections on the low side to make sure that we don't run out of cash, because that is the worst thing you can do. Is, don't matter if you've got a profitable business, it's not about your profits, it's about your cash flow. Because if you haven't got enough cash in your business, in your wallet to pay your bills, guess what? You're gone. Okay, so last week we sold £71,000 worth of insurance. That was really good. We had 9 move-ins and 71,000 of insurance. That means it was an average of £7,888 per move-in. Brilliant stuff there. Anything over 5,000 is great. Okay, what's this next week looking like? We've got amount of move-ins due next week is 9. Amount of square foot due in is 850. So I think we'll hit the 1,000 square foot again, which is for the second week running in November. Brilliant. Amount of square foot due out is 8. Amount of square foot due in is... Sorry. Amount of... I'm thinking of something else. I'm thinking of another podcast. I'm thinking, oh yeah, that'd be great to tell them. And it's all about data and stuff. And I was on autopilot. And right, again, don't know why you listen. Amount of square foot due in next week is 850. Amount of square foot due out next week is 670 for 8 move outs. So as you can see there, we should be 180 square foot up. And I'm sure we'll be more than that. Right. Okay. So these reservations, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I haven't seen this one. So we have had 16 reservations so far across 2 sites. However, one of those booked online and cancelled straight away. That's interesting. So if we go back, and I can make adjustments here. Let's have a look. So 15 divided by 268 visitors. It means that our conversion rate from the top of a funnel from website visitors to reservations is 5.59. So 5.6% instead of 5.8 or something like I said before. So it's a little bit different. So we had 15 reservations last week. Let's have a look. Let's go through these reservations one by one. So the first one called us 11 days after email to and booked. Interesting. So that was nothing to do with price online. Next one, it was a walk-in. Came in last month. Then we've been emailing them and walked in and just booked. Another one, booked online. Reserved on the 24th of the 10th, then cancelled, and then has now rebooked. And then the next one, previous customer at Willerby. So just booked straight away. Then next one was email to. So it's always nice to know exactly when these people, at what part of the sales process did the book, because we need to know what's working, what's not. If it's not working, we don't need to do it anymore. We're just wasting time. If it's working, we need to do more of it. Let's have a look. Booked online, walked in and booked, called and booked, called and visited and booked the same day, booked online, walked in and booked in and moved straight away. Callback was 11 weeks after. Oh, they called us back 11 weeks after callback 2. Interesting. So 11 weeks after the callback 2, then they booked. And then 2 more booked online. Right, let's have a look at some of the data. So we had 268 visitors to the website. And obviously we got 15 reservations, so it's 5.6 conversion rate there. Let's have a look. So move out now. Weekly revenue sheet. I think we had a good week last week on the revenue as well. Here it comes. You think I'd have it ready, wouldn't you? But I don't. I'm trying to fill space, and I've done it. Right. So the revenue, it's okay. Revenue for all 3 sites was £27,246.19. Clough Road. And we're not doing very well at Clough Road this week in terms of revenue, but we'll get into that tomorrow. We took £4,380.10. Then at Beverley, we took £3,833.32. And then at Willerby, we took £19,032.77. Bounce direct debits at Willerby were £1,343.52. And bounce direct debits at Beverley was £144. At Clough Road, 0, nada, nothing. Again, someone was asking me last week, would I use direct debits again? The answer is hell no. This new site we're using, we are not going direct debits. We are taking card payments and using Stripe because it is so much easier. There's no, we've had nobody who hasn't paid at Clough Road in a year. So it's incredible. Or was there somebody who had 20 quid? I don't know. But anyway, it's been next to nothing. But Willerby, yes, we have very, very good debt procedures, follow up and stuff. So our debt ratio is a lot less than most people. However, it's costing us time, effort. The staff hate doing it as well. And so I wouldn't do it again. I wouldn't do bounce direct debits because we've got callbacks, texts, emails. Excuse me, and it takes time and it takes away from my core focus, which is our customers. Yes, they are our customers, but it's not good. And with the Stripe payments, they just take it all the time. It's automated. It is brilliant. When Gavin Shields first told me this and said, "Oh, yes, it could cost you 1.4% or whatever it is," I was like, I don't want to pay it. But if you analyze it and look into it, it's a lot better. And I 100% agree that it is a lot. It's 100% for me anyway. People might have different opinions, but it was somebody who was just starting self-storage. They was basically going to use standing orders. And I said, no, you can't use standing orders. Whatever you do, no standing orders. Because if you use standing orders, then I fell into this trap. You cannot cheat. You cannot do any revenue management. You cannot increase the prices. So whatever the standing order is, that's all you can take. So, and then we progressed to direct debit, which means you could change the payments, which is a lot better. But now we've iterated and improved again at Clough Road, which means that we're taking card payments. So we've logged your card details down and we're doing it through Stripe. We're not doing it ourselves because GDPR, whatever it's called, there's a lot of hoops to jump through and it's just not worth it. And the security of the card details, etc., it takes a lot of time. So it's much better and more efficient going through Stripe. And yes, you've got to pay for it. However, it's automated then, and yeah, the payments that you have is so much simpler, easier to take, and there's no debt management, etc. So I would recommend everybody out there to go on to, or if you open a new site, then Stripe payments. It's easier for the customers as well. We had one customer because one of the payments declined, and so what happens with Stripe is then they recognize what sort of profile you are as a customer. So then they take payments depending on when they think it'll be most likely, according to your profile, you have money in the bank. And so we just leave it up to Stripe. Stripe took the payment, managed to take the payment 2 or 3 days later. Then we got a phone call from this lady saying, "I can't afford my electric now, blah, blah, blah," going mental at us. "You've took payment. You shouldn't have took payment. It was supposed to be the other day and I didn't have money in my account, but now I had money in my account and it was to pay the water or electric or something, and now I can't afford it." And I've got a very, very tough line on this, and you'd be maybe surprised because I do consider myself quite, I don't know, forgiving and a bit of a wet lettuce sometimes. But if you owe me money, it's not my problem if you can't afford your electric or your water. I've got bills, I've got responsibilities. It's my money. You owe me money. It's my money. We've taken it. Nothing illegal. And so, unfortunately, it's not you're in the blame game. You're blaming other people for your circumstance and your situation. It's not other people's fault. It's your fault for being in that situation. And by the way, I do have empathy because I know that there's in so many people in the world that don't have money in this country, and for one, not for their own faults, but for made redundancy or the business has gone wrong. I understand it. I get it. But ultimately, if you've got a self-storage facility, a unit, then just because you owe the electric company and owe us, it doesn't mean the electric company are more important than us. And yes, I can see why personally it is, but ultimately I will be going after that money and I want that money. There's no way that when you owe us money, I'm just going to think, do you know what? They might need it for other things. They might need it to, I don't know, for a cigarette, whatever it is. I'm not going to think like that. And nor should anybody. If other people owe you money, we should not feel bad if we take the money and unfortunately leave them short for something else. It's a debt. We followed our debt procedures and we got the money we deserved. And so Stripe did us wonderfully well in that situation. The customer, unfortunately, wasn't very happy, but nevertheless, it's, we secured our payment. Right, I think that's it, guys. I will be doing some more information on Clough Road. And again, we take 2 steps backwards, 2 steps forwards, 3 steps forward, 1.5 backwards. And it's just, we can never seem to actually, I mind you, we've got to remember, it's November. I was going to say seems to get traction, but it's November. As long as we hover on this for the rest of the until March, as long as we're around this level, then I'll be happy. The next month, next year, then we'll probably get us around about 80%. But it's just a little bit frustrating the fact that we can't get the traction. When I get a notification of a reservation, 2 minutes later I'll get a notification of a move out, and I'm like, Urgh! Anyway, never mind. All right, my friends, love you, appreciate you, and I will speak to you later.